Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Thursday, January 8th. We're going to take a look at the markets like we usually do, then look at some of our international stock markets, and then look at 3 Chinese stocks and Apple. All right, we're going to start off here with the Dow. The Dow was up 323 points today, so the snapback rally continues. The real question in everybody's mind is this another V bottom like this, like kind of like this, or is this just a dead cat bounce, a bear market rally of some kind? Now, I guess you can't really call it a bear market rally because we don't really have a bear market yet, but is it just some kind of a snapback rally? So that's the real question. I mean, it looks pretty strong. We've come back a couple of days like this, closing back above the 10, kind of like what we did here. And, kind of like what we did here. So we'll just have to see. The possibility, if we're looking at an upside scenario, there is the possibility that this was, wave 1, and then this is wave 2, and then that you have that we're still working a wave 2. This could be an A, this could be a B, and this could be a C, and this would be a flat. Okay, this would be then what's called a running. If this holds, this would be a running flat in Elliott wave, and that would be a strong move is coming if that's the case. Now, in order to have a flat, you have to have 3 waves in here. Okay, let me get rid of this. Okay. And it kind of looks like 3 waves in here. And I'll be honest with you, counting the waves in here, looking at an hourly chart has been difficult. Counting the waves in here, looking at an hourly and even 30-minute, here was more difficult than here. I could make the case that this was an A, B, C, 3-wave down. Okay, so we'll have to see. If we take out this point here, I'm going to lean is the word I'm searching for. I'm going to lean towards the fact that I think this is probably a running flat. Now, there's a good possibility we could just roll right over and come back down, because this would be a perfect way to trap. The market sometimes likes to get the most, trap the most number of participants that it can, it seems like. And so what would be a great way to do that? Well, to set you up thinking we got V, 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 and thinking we're going to get another V, and then we roll on over and trap all the bulls. That's when this becomes a bull trap. So this is still a possibility that this could roll back down here and break this low. If it breaks this low, then we'll see. I mean, we could have some real carnage happen. And we'll just, we just got to, I'm not into, sitting here predicting business. I'm trying to figure out, just reading the tea leaves here and just seeing what we might have, possible scenarios, so that we've got our awareness as to what might unfold. S&P 500 is about the same thing, same picture. Now, back on the Dow has retraced 78.6% of this move, okay, of this downdraft move from intraday high, intraday low. This is a 78.6% retracement, almost, right to the exact number. And on the S&P 500, I don't have the number. It's going to be similar. I think it's in between 61.8 and 78.6. NASDAQ, similar bounce back type of deal going on here with the NASDAQ. We're getting a lot of volatility, and it's playing havoc with the trades, honestly. And so here we are on the New York Composite. Again, this is the one that's, where I've talked about 1, 2, and we could be working a 3 down. Of course, we take out this point here, that scenario goes out the window. But the fact that the 21s cross below the 55, the 10s down below here, I'm just kind of suspicious. We gapped here. Yeah, we gapped here too. We gapped here too. So, we'll have to see what happens here. Russell 2000, again, similar type snapback scenario. The New York Composite is almost exactly 61.8. That was the other thing I was going to mention. This pullback right now to the high, it's right in here at 61.8% of this move. So in terms of deep retracements, you're typically thinking 61.8 is the one that you've got in mind as a Fibonacci retracement, and as much as 78.6. And of course, you can retrace all the way up to 100% and still count it as a wave 2 type thing. All right, the next thing, let's take a look at our indicators. The short-term trading index has pulled back down naturally because of a little more bullish reading and the kind of move we had today with the Dow up over 300 points. You don't hear that very often. The VIX collapsed, as you would expect, came back down here. And so, again, boy, it came real close to up to that trend line, and now it's snapped back down. We'll see. High-low index finally got this fixed, and so 221 new highs, more new highs than new lows. So we've pulled back up into this territory. I have not gone to any kind of new higher point reading at this point. And we've still got the 10 above the 21 in here. And as I talked about, I'm watching that those trend lines. The advancing decline wasn't super strong. I mean, for a 300 and some point move, you know, what was the number again? 323 points. 3.3 stocks up for every one down. That's not, I mean, when you've got really super strong breadth, you're talking about 7, 8, 10 stocks up or down to one. That's when you've got a real deluge, a real avalanche in the one direction going. 3.3 to 1. I mean, it's not that it's not bad, but it's not super strong. The volume, the up volume to down volume was 4.9 to 1. Okay. All right, let's take a look, let's step around the world and see what's going on in some of these other countries. In Europe, Germany. Notice how Germany, this point right here is December 5th. Okay. You notice how the Dow on December 26th made a new high up in here like this. Well, the DAX didn't buy into that. The DAX hasn't confirmed that. Now, the DAX has bounced back nice just like the Dow did here, but still trending down. We've got a little bit of almost a symmetrical triangle working here. If you catch that in here like this and catch this point in here like this. Pull that one back out a little bit for you, and you can see how we've got a little bit of a symmetrical triangle working. We'll see whether we get continued upside on the DAX or not. The next one, Russia. RTSI index selling off, got a snap back today. Okay, and it's been pretty negative. India, Nifty 50. India's Nifty 50 index. This sold off the last couple of days, and this looks, again, I've said that I think that this is in corrective mode, and this looks a little bit like an A and then a B, a three-wave B move. Now we're doing like a C to the downside. We'll see if we take out this point or not. I think we're in a fourth intermediate may move, and we'll see what kind of, again, when you get into these corrective waves, it can get really funky because there's 13 different types of corrective waves that can happen, or 13 different types of scenarios that can happen with corrective waves. So, all right, the Shanghai Composite, China's Shanghai Composite Index. Okay, this one I think is in a fifth minor wave up of a major move here. Okay. Now we're running in, see all these dotted lines? This is where I'm calling a resistance zone that it's running into right here. And this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, like maybe we're going to get one more pop up. And I've got another resistance pivot point up here. And where are these coming from? Let's back this on down. You'll see, now I've got it, I was lazy and I just put horizontal lines in here. So it kind of gets messy to the left. But where I was talking about, these three lines come from these three little pivot points right in here, okay? Because we blew past this one and here, this resistance. Now we're fighting this resistance, and we seem to be getting, trying to get some buying power, getting some congestion in here, trying to build through that. And then we're going to have this point here. So you just constantly, it's like you're going up a ladder. You're constantly looking at potential points where resistance is going to come in where previous selling had occurred. And so that's what I think is going on here. But again, very, very strong move with the Shanghai Composite. All right, now let's take a look at Melco Crown, VIPs, CTRP, and AAPL. Okay, here's Melco Crown. And again, I think what's happening with the casino stocks is they're trying to put in a bottom here. They've had one heck of a sell-off all the way down. I mean, look at this. Since this has been basically since first quarter of last year, this has been going. So all of 2014 was nothing but a sell-off in the casino areas, especially anybody tied into the Macau casino scene. And so right now it's trying to make some headway in here, but I don't see anything strong to jump in and buy on. I mean, it would be nice to get the 21 crossing above the 55, start to get some momentum to the upside. It's what it's trying to do, but no other real reading on that. I mean, you could draw a trend line across the top here, and of course watch to see does it break, and you could almost even make the case that maybe you got a little bit of a head and shoulders bottom forming of some kind in here. But I'm going to see more moves. It's just been too much negativity, too much downward pressure on this. The next one we're going to take a look at is VIP Shop. And VIP Shop is, this one is looking like it's starting to get some momentum here to the upside. I like the way this is crossing. I need to get my colors in sync again. This is the old way I was doing the colors. But again, VIP Shop look at this bullish move. I mean, higher highs and higher lows, and it's continued that pattern so far. And now it's breaking up in here. So this would have been right in here, probably right about in here at the high in here might have been a good place to enter. And so now I'm going to look and watch to see if we get some kind of good entry point in here. Well, that doesn't help me a whole lot. Let me just go back. Okay, so VIP Shop's going to be one to watch and to see if we got something to get on board, or is it just going to go straight up like this? We'll see. And the next one is CTRP. CTRP here, ctrip.com. CTRP's also trying to put in a little bit like a turn here, okay? Possible little what you could call a double bottom. It hasn't broken above the inner point here, so it hasn't confirmed a breakout. Now, actually, this isn't officially people call this a double bottom. That's not really a double bottom in my book. I mean, that's not, and there needs to be more space between the bottoms in here. But we're getting the moving averages crossing. We're getting some nice pulling up in here. But right now, the intermediate trend, as long as the 21 is below the 55, the intermediate trend is to the downside. And so I am wary about doing anything counter trend right now. Just nothing has worked. I mean, even when I've had, what I thought was divergence working for me, it didn't work out. It either didn't hit the minimum target, and then it gets stopped out or whatever. The only ones that are even halfway decent working is when you're with the trend and with the intermediate trend, and then trying to jump on something with the 10 with the intermediate trend. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, kind of like Caterpillar and Cree, and there's lots of others, and many I've missed. But let's take a look at Apple. And that'll be it for today. And Apple is interesting because I think we're in a fourth intermediate wave correcting. I actually thought Apple was going to come down and close this gap right down here, okay, which is right at 100. But I'm now wondering, based on this little move, but again, I'm going to need, this is corrective mode, and I'm not seeing a clear 5 waves to make this like a zigzag. A zigzag should be a 5, 3, 5, okay? This is not clear to me that this is 5 to make this 5, 3, and then work in a 5. I just have a suspicion that there's more corrective action to go in Apple, but if it breaks this trend line here, you got to wonder whether or not, maybe it is into its fifth intermediate wave to the upside. So I'll be watching for that, see if we get another higher close and whether we break that trend line in here on Apple. Apple's had a really, really nice move. I think we're working 5 waves up, and I do think this is a fifth wave of a fifth primary wave of 5 major primary waves over the years. So we'll be watching this pretty closely. All right, that's it for tonight, and we'll be back. Tomorrow's Friday. We got the jobs report first thing in the morning, the big jobs report everybody's looking for. The market sure didn't seem to be too worried about it today. A lot of times in the past, it's gotten kind of tense and tight and all of that, but volatility's back, and we'll see what happens. All right, we'll be back with you on Saturday. This has been Joe from Beyond the Chart. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great Friday, everyone.